I just want to explain something very important that very few people know. The Attorney General works for the government only, and several ministers of the state. He controls the Chief State Solicitor's office, and most importantly, he represents the public in all legal proceedings for the enforcement of law, the punishment of offenders, and, this is extremely important, the assertion or protection of public rights. That means his Chief State Solicitor's office is statutorily barred from representing members of An Garda Síochána, members of the court service, members of the Irish prison service, senators, and various other organisations throughout the state, including the Criminal Assets Bureau. The Attorney General has never been conferred with or imposed with any law that extends his authority outside Article 30.1 of the Constitution of Ireland. That means when a Garda member assaults any member of the public, we can count on the Chief State Solicitor's office to represent our interests, and the Attorney General is obliged under statutory law. But practice has turned the office upside down, and that's why I'm bringing this extremely important motion to the High Court on the 26th of November. All my papers have been filed, and I'm seeking authorities' affidavits of authority to identify the individual civil servants working in the court service, the Garda Commissioner's office, the Director of Public Prosecution's office, the Irish Prison Service, and the office of the Minister for Justice, Home Affairs and Migration. I want to identify these individuals because what these individuals are doing in various offices is going outside what the Ministers and Secretaries Act 1924 provides to the people of Ireland. And their actions are repugnant to Article 30. So these civil servants have been hiding behind these corporate veils for decades. And they've been using and abusing the office of the Attorney General. The government is responsible for the office of the Attorney General. Our government knows that the Chief State Solicitor's office is extending legal services to state employees who are being accused of personal misconduct and criminal wrongdoing. This notice of motion on the 26th of November 2025 is going to break down that corporate veil and identify on affidavit who these people are. I wrote my affidavit and I've sworn on it with a Commissioner of Oaths. I'm not afraid to stand in a High Court and assert that these state bodies and body corporates and unincorporated associations and offices do not have any legal right to engage the office of the Attorney General. The office of the Attorney General does not have any statutory or constitutional right to tell his Chief State Solicitor's office to represent any of these offices or any of these employees working for the offices. The government is the voice of the people. The government cannot use its services to extend legal protection to state employees. Those services are for the public's protection, the assertion of public rights, and the Attorney General is statutorily obligated to represent the public in all legal proceedings for the enforcement of law. This is what the Attorney General is not doing. The Attorney General is not using his Chief State Solicitor's office to hold members of the executive to account for their actions. And it's only by moving these motions into our High Court that we break down this method of keeping accountability away from the courts. We have to be in a position of holding Garda members, court staff, people who work for the Director of Public Prosecution, the Irish Prison Service, and even in the Minister for Justice's office. We have to be in a position, and we are statutorily in a position, to take these individuals into our court and prosecute them for crimes and hold them accountable to our laws and to our constitutional rights. That's what the Attorney General's office is there for. That's why we have Article 30.3 of the Constitution of Ireland, to make sure that he does not step outside his constitutional role of representing the government and exercising his duties when it comes to protecting and asserting public rights. So if you're around Dublin on the 26th of November, please come into the High Court. It's going to be in court number 2. If there's any change in the venue, I'll let you know. So it's about 10 days away. This is the first time a motion has ever been brought like this into an Irish court. Nobody has challenged the authority of the Attorney General. Everyone has accepted it as practice. It's implied authority. It's not statutory authority, and it certainly is not constitutional authority. And when his law officers go into the court, they do not exercise constitutional rights. They do not exercise statutory rights, although they try to use this to cover their tracks. They cannot represent state employees accused of personal misconduct and criminal wrongdoing, because it would inherently be contrary to the assertion and protection of public rights. They want their bread buttered on both sides, but when we learn how to exercise our rights, they'll get what's given to them by our Constitution and by our statutory laws.